Peace, 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 fam. How y'all doing? Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I am absolutely in a different energy today. Um, I just am. Well, anyway, this is Oracle Deborah with the Oracle Deborah podcast on YouTube. And let me preface by saying I don't call myself the Oracle. I am Oracle Deborah. Okay. We'll get into that later. I don't know why I feel like I have to get into this topic, but maybe I knew all along I was going to have to. And I guess I'm going to continue with the water in the background in the bridge, whatever bridge this is. I don't know. But anyway, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I encourage you to continue to do that. You are helping me out greatly. I hope everyone weathered this storm um, safely. I saw some really shocking video images on the news with tractor trailers jackknifing and cars just skidding out of control onto oncoming traffic. It's just really not good. Not in my area, but there's no telling what's been going on in my area. So anyway, I just sending love and blessings out to everyone for your safety and stay warm. I'm actually cold. I'm not gonna lie. And but I had to get on the camera. I was not on the camera, but I found that I was just all over the place trying to uh, bring this topic to hone this topic that I want to talk to you about. I was trying to hone it in, and I was just all over the place. And the fact that I was off camera in my PJs, just you know, it didn't help. So I had to take 5 or 10 minutes so I won't look, that word, haggard, um, to get on camera. Okay, so here we are. Um, oh, so the message I had in the other video, because this is my third actually, come to think of it, my third attempt to do this. I noticed I've been saying some really um, strange words, or I'm really messing up certain words, or I'm using the wrong word in the wrong context. I've noticed that. It's it, I think it's just a Mercury thing. And I pretty much have Mercury in my 12th house, snuggled up next to one of the malefic planets. Here we go. Malefic planet of the South Node, which is K2. Yeah, I have K2. It's snuggled up next to K2. And whereas I should be a singer, I'm not. Whereas I should have had an extreme stutter or something, I don't. But I do get a little twisted, um, tongue twisted at times when my brain is going so fast and I'm trying to say something. So it sometimes merges my two thoughts together and comes out really weird. But I just noticed I was just saying things like when I was referring to Neptune as the low vibration side of Neptune anyway, um, that it could be, delusional or illusions or disillusions. And I think I said disillusional, which is like not a word. And I think I use hazard as opposed to haggard. And I think, I was just kind of messing up a little bit. So it's not that I'm incompetent. It's just, it's just kind of part of my um, Mercury disability, if you want to call it that. I don't really, everybody messes up and it's not really a big deal. But I noticed it and I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense. So I'm surprised someone didn't come in here and it's like, no, did you mean hazard or hacker? I don't know. Anyway, so expect that from time to time. And I will try and slow down as if I don't speak slow enough these days. I'm usually a very speed speedy speaker, and I was forced to slow down when I started doing some public speaking, and now I just you know, I just am where I am. So I wanted to throw that out there. Yes, if anyone wants Reiki or they want some cards pulled or if they need some intuitive messages, please hit me up. I'm happy to help you in that. Yes, there is a fee. I know there are a ton of people out here offering the exact same services. Um, and so go with the person that you are comfortable with. That's all I have to say. I'm not going to get into, any X, Y, or Z. I just do what I do. If you value it, appreciate it, great. If you don't. Um, not that I don't care, but not that I care. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Um, I'm just here, honestly. Dodash, another shout out to her. She's the one who encouraged me to start my YouTube channel and get on camera, and because they're, in her words, you older women, you have messages that we need to hear. So here I am. I'm giving you the messages. And I listen to my messages and, after the fact, prior to uploading them. And I still do what I do. I listen to other people's videos, etc. And, I'm tapped in. That's all I can tell you. I've always been tapped in. So I think it was just a matter of confidence, not comparing myself, all that goofy stuff. So yeah, I am here in my holistic self and in my holistic way. And I like it. It matters. That's all that matters, right? As I like it. Eventually, yes, who is your audience, yada, yada, yada. But, I'm not here to please the audience. I'm here to give the message. And the message should attract the audience that needs to hear it. So that's that. I'm trying to remember what else did I said I was going to do some time stamping. Okay. It's two messages here. And I know this might take a minute and I need to get back to stuff, but I sit differently when I'm not in class than I do when I'm on camera. So this is kind of giving my back a break. Because I listened to a video up in the middle of the night and it was amazing. Some of my favorite people in there, they had a whole um, uh, panel, if you will, on there. And it was just amazing to see everybody together and do what they do and all of that stuff. And Sister Myra, I am an absolute fan of hers. Love, love, love her. I never got one of her reads. But when I first heard her, I just could not listen to her like all the time. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to her channel. If not, I will do that. And she's usually a guest on Black Magic 363. And I love Brother Rich. And I even did an event several years ago. I think it was in 2018 that he promoted for Blue Pillar. It was like a meditation event or something. And I was all into it. I was on it every night. And they were like, we need you to have a feather for this. And, I was all up into it. I did the whole thing. And I think I might have mentioned this on my video before. So I'm an absolute fan. I love what they do. They came along at a key point when I was, going through where a part of my soul was awakening, and also when I was doing the shadow work. I was in the thick of that. So all of it mattered to me. All of it was significant for me. Everything just played its role in terms of, me being who I am today, in all my confidence. So, but I love Sister Myra. But I noticed I don't know if people are starting to see my videos or Billy Carson was on there too. They haven't, and honestly, let me say this about Billy Carson. Let me write this down. I am very pleased with my video concerning Billy Carson. I have no qualms. I have no regrets about anything, that I said. I thought it was very balanced, and I was very honest, as so was everybody else. Like this wasn't like a secret that he had a lower moment. And now he talks about it. He's very transparent, and he even cried. He even cried talking about it and his near death experience. And I said in my video, I said it didn't seem like the Billy Carson that I know, like that I've watched, and it just he didn't seem like himself. I knew that. I could see in his body language. I said that in my video, so I didn't say anything more or less. I wasn't about trashing him or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I had a lot more encouraging stuff to say, and I actually gave some insight into the dude Wes. And I was like, you all are going to be a little surprised because some information is going to come out about him, but I'm not going to say a word. And I'm still not going to say a word. I'm just going to let y'all wait until y'all figure it out. But Brother Rich kept saying, Myra, sister Myra, you're the oracle, you're the true oracle, you're the, whatever. And listen, I don't know if I said it in this video or if I had said it in my last video that I just trashed. I just started all over. I am not the oracle. I don't believe there is the oracle. Okay. I believe, and I don't even like using that word. I know I am an oracle. But I'm very careful about being grounded. Okay. Not necessarily being humble, but being grounded and about what I do, because I know I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, and I know, Sagittarius, the low vibrational side of Sagittarius can be, pretty self-righteous, and we can get dogmatic in certain topics. And, we can double down, and I know we have no filter. I know, even though I feel like my filter is, I was around enough people in my early years where they tamed a lot of that. And I don't even think it was that bad then. Honestly, I think how I am is generally how I am. I've always been this way. But I can say something matter of factly, and it comes off harsh, and that is a Sagittarius trait. So I know that. So I'm mindful. I'm mindful, but I also know how important it is for me to be authentic. And one of the things I can say about my team in my part-time place is they have a lot of thick skin. They're used to going at each other hard, in their personal circles, in their environment. They're used to that. So me coming along, they appreciate me when I started really coming out my skin. They honestly, they appreciate that. They're like, we know where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? They know where I'm coming from. As opposed to me being very strictly professional and things of that nature. I don't think they can appreciate, or not appreciate. They just, maybe sometimes that hyper professionalism comes off unauthentic or inauthentic, however it goes, inauthentic. And mine is authentic, but I've settled into my environment, and I'm true to myself, and yeah, I've let loose my tongue a bit. And but the thing about me is I have humor, so there is humor in things that I say, and it just, it just works. Um, Now, considering we just went through Kamala candidacy where it was the giggling and the laughing and all that stuff, which is highly, unusual and to some degree inappropriate as a candidate. But I don't want to mirror her, but I don't. I do want to be mindful. But yeah, I'm just going to be me, pretty much. That's what I'm going to do. But anyway, with Billy Carson, he's come to terms where he is. He's gotten counsel. A lot of people were like he should have just doubled down, and like I said, I could tell he wasn't himself. So, um, and they have embraced him as they should, and it works. And I agree. Like the more he just ignores all the chatter, and he's gone about his business, it's like I almost forgot that it even happened. So, yeah, I think move on. You did what you had to do. You course corrected, and yeah, yeah. But all of us are qualified. All of us have every right to have a voice on these platforms. I think that's the message that I want to send out today is, because I've always experienced, you know, stepping out my comfort zone with this and almost getting pushback from women who feel like, who do you think you are? They didn't say it, but they were not genuine when they came into my space and pretended that, hey, I'm into this space and realm with you. It was more like, let me get into this realm and tell you how much better than I am you, and you need to submit to me. That is the energy that I come across a lot. Okay. And probably because I have a jovial side to me. Like I said, I have a lot. I am a Capricorn sun, but I am more Sagittarius swirling around me than my Capricorn side. And it's interesting because I think the Capricorn grounds me in a way. But I am a moon and rising in tropical zodiac. I'm a moon and rising in Sagittarius. Like, and so, and actually, I've come to really appreciate my moon sign in Sagittarius. It's very lovely, which is what you see here. But this face, this energy, this softness doesn't resonate well and I'm just going to be transparent, it doesn't resonate well in the conscious community because I'm expected to be more serious and, have books lying open and, come off as really pious and that's not my nature. If the universe wanted us all to be that way, then they would the universe would not have created humans because that's who we are. And so, we say yes, we come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and this, that, and the other, but really we don't want to come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Okay, now I'm getting into, the gist of my message. Because one of the things I saw in the Democratic Party, which was a huge reason why I pulled up out of there too, was like in that energy, they only designate one person as the authority in an area. Like, you can't come in this area because that area belongs to so and so. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, excuse me, where did y'all come up with this lack mentality, this lack thinking? You know, so I saw that quite a bit in my professional environment, where it was just another reason for someone to say, you don't belong here, you're not good enough. And this isn't whites. These are white folks. They do them, of course, right? So you can expect that. But this is in my own so-called melanated community, the professional side, where I didn't fit this script, I didn't fit that script, I wasn't doing things this way, I wasn't acting that way. Listen, that's never been my way. But I thought in a conscious community that that would be accepted because we're in a conscious community. But it's not. All I got was, you can stay, but you need to submit to me. These are coming from women. Okay, yeah. Let me get into this. What's the word I want to use? And I do this a lot, as you guys know. There's a word I want to use when the double standard. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this double standard that women are always laying at the feet of men. You all have a double standard. You think you could do this, but then we can't do it. It's okay for you to do it, but it's okay if it's not okay if we do it. That's that double standard. So there's this constant, energy between the women and men, and it has evolved over the past 20 years, right? Particularly with young women, growing up in their space and doing their thing, and they've evolved the message, but it still comes off as a double standard, and other things, whatever they call it now, I don't know. But that double standard sits right within the female community, right? It is right there. So I come into a space and all of my gifts and all of my essence and all of my art, because that's the problem. It's a part of what I'm saying, but it's the aura that is with me, that is in me, that surrounds me, that is my own essence. That is the problem that creates the competition as soon as I walk into a space. And then all of a sudden, women, I'm just going to say women, feel we need to, knock down her peg and make her submit to me because they are threatened by my aura. Listen, I'm going to tell you, like Moses told his people up in the desert, if you want to blame me, don't blame me. If you want to blame someone, take it to the universe, take it to your God, take it to your source, take it to your spirit, take it to whoever it is you serve. That you believe or know is the creator of all creators, is the essence of everything, of why we are even here. That entity, that source, whomever you call source to be, even if it's just source, you take it to her or you take it to him, again, however you see it. You see it as a female, fine. You see his big mama, fine. You see his big papa, fine. I don't care. But you take that problem that you have with my essence, my aura, back to source. Because you're out of pocket. You're way out of pocket. Now, I am wholly addressing the female community and saying, I'm not going to try to prove to you or try to please you or try to placate you and trying to convince you, persuade you that I am not a threat to you, because honestly, you don't care. I've done that a lot over the course of years. You don't care. What you care about is that how can we remove her from our space or make her submit, buck break her, so that she is falling over my feet. I don't do that. I don't do that. I have one mama in this world, and I love her more than anyone could possibly know or think or understand. I have such a great love for her. When I think of my mother, I know for a fact that I had to have come here and followed her here and chose her. My siblings, not so much. But my mother, whom I call mommy, yeah, it resonates with me. Like I can see why I came here under her tutelage. And nobody usurps her. Nobody. Nobody. You feel me? Now, if I walk in this on this earth in my meat suit with the energy that I don't submit to anybody, which I don't, I have a lot of respect for people. I have a lot of love for people, certain people. But to arbitrarily submit and knock down my essence to make someone feel comfortable, are you kidding me? People will always trample all over me, as they've demonstrated when I was like, okay, let me back off. That's all they wanted, was to trample. And really, they didn't even want me in their space. It was a problem. But the one person I submitted to up until I had to step into my own womanhood, in my own space, in my own aura, was my own mother, the queen of all queens, the empresses of all empresses. Yes, I came up under her tutelage. She was wisdom personified. She had a character like none other. And when Source cuts the apron strings, and I had to realize I could not ride on her character coattail anymore. I had to develop my own character. I had to build up my own space. You know, her work was done. But you think I don't miss her, her, her. Mm, that's the only word I can give her. Mm, all of that. Yes, I miss it. But I'm also on my own path, charting my own course, and just guided by the light of the universe. So now I am not your oracle. I'm not the oracle, but I am an oracle. And I won't submit. I won't back down. I absolutely am standing on my square. Now, I cannot change the energy of Black women, foundational Black women, other melanated women in the diaspora. I'm not trying to change that energy. The universe is doing that. What do I need to get involved with that for? Pluto in Aquarius is doing that. Pluto in Aquarius is showing us, oh, this group here wants to be all encompassing in terms of spirituality, but did you see all the nakedness and the debauchery going on over there? Don't just talk about foundational Black American women and how we are. The cameras are showing us otherwise. Your videos are showing us otherwise. People's confessions are telling us otherwise. And this isn't about other women in the diet. This is just, like I said, in general. Melanated women, when I come around, they have a problem with me. The white women are automatically going to have a problem with me. You know why? The skin, the this, the that, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I didn't even wear my hair out for like what, 2 years? And I was happy to continue to wear my wraps. They don't even feel comfortable anymore. But it was like the universe, like my hair was like, that's enough. We need air. We want to breathe. And I'll still wear them periodically in between, hair washes, and not just hair washes, but yeah, in between a hair wash or after a hair wash when my scalp is still wet or something like that. But it just seems abnormal now because there's a whole movement out there about don't be discriminating against us because of our hair. And I was wondering, I was like, you know what? Y'all don't appreciate our hair. You don't deserve to see it. That's how indignant I got over that. But yeah, I am who I am. But being me should not take away from you, right? So if that's the issue, you need to go within. You need to do some shadow work. Because my name is Oracle, that's my handle, Oracle Deborah. And I'm not going to back down for anybody. I don't care who you are. And I don't claim to have the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or Bobby Hemid or Noble Drew Ali. I don't have those teachings. I appreciate those who do, and I will sit back and listen to those teachings. But with everything, I filter it through my intuition. And some of it is just, knowledge or research. I respect research. And I've just told y'all on many occasions, I'm not that deep dive research kind of gal. It's not my lane. Dane Calloway and his wife, that's their lane. Uh, is it Bedell? That's his lane. Phil Valentine, I paid for one of his things too, and attended one of his webinar type things. That's his lane. Like these are experts in our field that giants and Myra, like all of y'all, like you all are the giants, but I'm not an ant. I'm not going to shrivel away. I'm not going to shrink. I'm not going to die, not in that sense, I'm not going to, because it feels just like buck breaking to me. It feels like slavery to me. No, you the slave. You need to know. Mm-mm. And that's that intercultural problem issue. I'm not doing that. You want a slave? Go hire one. Don't be cheap. Go hire one. The side note is like for the men out here who's like, they try to gaslight women. that that Black women, we're not good enough. Foundational packers, particularly us, the FBA women, we're not good enough. These other women are good enough, but you can't handle what they demand of you. So then you try to gaslight us and try into being your prostitute without having to pay for a prostitute. So don't be cheap. Because what you want is a prostitute. That's what you want. That's what gets you off. But you're too cheap to pay for one. So you try to gaslight women into being your, what do you call it? What's the word? Surrogate. You want a surrogate prostitute because so you don't have to pay for them. So let me pretend I like you. Let me pretend that maybe I want something with you, but really you don't. You just want a prostitute, but you won't pay for one. So you're looking to us to be your surrogate, to be the surrogates. No. Get up off your ass and your cheap pockets and go pay for one. What? Are they expensive now? They're not the typical prostitutes we know that take a few dollars. Aren't you in a conundrum? So, I know this energy is, different from where I started. And it's also very different from the video I just put out from Saturday where I just, it was just too much. When you're holding it together and you just keep getting pummeled with poor news or bad news or news that just doesn't fit in your plans or, it's just compromising to one's stability. Yeah, that's the energy I was in Saturday. And I'm okay with that. You know why? Because I am human. Yeah, I cannot say that enough. Now, I know my aura has this thing going on, but I am human. And I know my aura is really the catalyst for all of this because, why else would I walk in a room or just go into a space and just like people are just immediately threatened? I've gone in spaces on Clubhouse where, the moderator of the room was an actual doctor in a field. And, I go in to like sit in and listen because I'm not a doctor. I know how to be a student. You feel me? I know how to be a student. I can sit and listen, you know, to knowledge and information all day because intellect, intelligence is my number one gift, purpose. So I get the information, but sitting there drilling down in the in-depth research, no, I know that's not my lane. But I've done the work. I know what my number one is, and it's intelligence. So I can sit in a room with doctors, and all I have to do is say something or ask a question, whatever, and they get upset. They're like, "You're not supposed to know that. How do you know that? How could you have tapped into that? And I didn't even see that. That's my gift. So what am I supposed to despise my own self? No, we're not doing that self-hate thing. We're not doing that. So yes, my name is OracleDeborah. I stand on my square. I stand on my beautiful, beautiful square. And if you enjoyed the information, great. If you want to cash at me, great, but you probably won't. Because why would you? Whoever that you is. I'm not talking to anybody in particular. I'm just speaking on a situation that just kind of keeps coming up. And I don't know if I'm projecting or if it's just, um, I don't know if I'm projecting or it's just, I don't know, circumstantial or just coincidence. That's the word I was looking for, coincidence. This Mercury is kicking my tail. But I just feel like, and I knew when I got on camera, when I knew when I decided to do this, I was going to have to address this issue. I knew that because I had two gay females on Clubhouse trying to dismiss me because of my energy, because of the power. I am all about the power. I just, it just is what it is. And they sat in my room, or the one, but the one, yeah, Gemini, just all over the place, just two-faced. You when you give someone like that a platform, you just can't give someone like that a platform. They'll never know how to appreciate it. They'll always try to come in and distort it. I have nothing against Geminis. Like I said, every sign has their high vibrational side and their low vibrational side. And unfortunately, most Geminis operate out of they operate out of both. They naturally are the quintessential communicators of the zodiac, hands down. The socialists, the socialites, you know, master communicators, hands down. But they're also your narcissists of the zodiac, hands down. And I mean, some of them are, um, what's the phrase I like to use? Oh, I can't think of it, but when I think of it, I wish I could think of it because, that kind of narcissist, like, mm, cult-like, vampirish. Um, I can't think of the word, but yeah, that you see a lot of that, and there you could be very smooth. See, that's why they are the quintessential best communicators of the zodiac. Just very smooth, and the whole time they are stabbing you in the back. They're dismantling your whole platform. I've seen it done. I've had them around me. Mm-mm. I've been in spaces. Mm-mm. And I know that, and there were rooms about, hey, Geminis aren't all that bad. This is why we're so great. Okay, okay. Like I said, I have nothing against Geminis, but I understand the energy. I understand their energy. I understand my energy as a Sagittarius slash Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn sun. I get all that. No sign is, exempt from their low vibrational side. Not one. Not one. You know, and it just is what it is. But like I said, I'm not. I just knew I was going to have this talk, this conversation, and it needed to be face to face. If you will. Um, that I love who I am. I've come to really love myself. And that was just my journey. That was my journey. Now how Oracle came about, that's a long story, but I stand on that square too. As a matter of fact, if I'm not, I recall before I even really watched The Matrix like that, back in 2000, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in between that. I would say around 2000, between 2007, 2010. I was working with a professor. He was a white dude out of New Orleans. And I don't know how I connected with this communication group because I was trying to, build my presence in the communication sector. And I got connected with this group, and he was a nice guy. He was really encouraging, gave me a lot of great advice. And over time, we were kind of friends. We were kind of friends. But like I said, I tried, he gave me the opportunity to write a chapter in a book, and I didn't do well. I didn't have enough time. I didn't do well. So he had to give me the bad news of saying, sorry. But I worked hard. I worked hard on this chapter. I just didn't have enough time to really do what I need to do with it. And it was my first go. And I think if they had given me another month, I could have really cleaned that chapter up and it would have been well. But I was just, it was just work. It was the first time I had written something that's significant. And but anyway, he gave me the bad news and we remained friends and it was cool. It was fine. And when he was going through a hard time, I tried to help him. I was knee deep in the church then, knee deep. And I gave him some encouragement, a lot of encouragement. And I'll never forget one day he said to me, "You are my oracle." He said that. He was the first person to say that to me. And quite frankly, he was the only person to have ever said that to me. Now, people who have asked me, has anyone ever said to you, that you're like an oracle or something? That was that was like the precursor to another situation in that same setting where a guy was doing a read for all of us in the clubhouse room. And I had to fight to get mine done because, I think people didn't want to know. Like, they didn't want to know what they knew. And when he did my read, what he did with this read, this was his read with his algorithm. After the read, he would read off 50 or more names, and he would just weird, just not strange names, just regular everyday words. He would just read off these words. It'd be 50 or 60. I mean, he says now just only take the ones that resonate with you, and some of them are going to be from me. And he says, so he would just read off a word, it might be core, it might be purple, it might be this, it's just any kind of word. And do you know Oracle came out 3 times for me? 3 times. So that's when I adopted Oracle, because I knew that it was time to start stepping into my path. So that was how the name came about. And like I said, there were 2 gay women afterwards who were in a room that I started. And one of them, I gave her a platform, and the room went for 3 full days around the clock. And then she decided, she just did her Gemini thing. Excuse me. She just did so, 2, and then she bring in her other gay friend, and they just started questioning, like, where are you at work? What does it mean? And I get that from women all the time. Even when I did Reiki, oh, well, I'm a fire Reiki. Like, what the hell? What the hell is fire Reiki? I do fire Reiki. Oh, you do Reiki? Okay, well, I'm a dragon. This is the kind of stuff I come across all the time. And I know Myra, Sister Myra, gets this stuff too. Because she even talked about, people question her because she used the Gregorian calendar so here's my point. Women, sisters, chill the fuck out. If you in your space are not comfortable with the power of other women around you, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and do your shadow work. Because whatever you're telling yourself, whatever the people around you are telling you, they're lying to you. You're lying to yourself. Because power can handle power. That type of high vibrational energy can handle other high levels of vibrational energy. And if you don't think it can, then I don't know what realm you're working in. See, I have to stay grounded. I have to remember I am human because that is my space. I feel like Vicky Dale, I give everybody their props. You hear me all the time come in here and give people their props. I don't say something or do, unless I can't remember the name of the person. There's a tarot reader. And every time she starts something, she go, "How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?" I can't think of the name of this tarot reader. I used to listen to a lot of her videos. I loved her videos when I needed her videos. And if I could remember her name, I would give her props right now. But power can handle power, love. True power can handle true power. You don't need to knock someone down on their knees or knock them down a couple of pegs to prove that you're on top. Don't need to do that. That is a sign of inferiority complex. That's what that is. That's a sign of insecurity. That's a sign of self-doubt. That's a sign of weakness. You're weak. That's why they say women don't get along, can't get along because you're weak. You can't get in the room with a bunch of other beautiful women and be okay with you. Oh, I need to knock her off her peg. I'll never forget. I used to take, like the commuter train to work, you know. And, when you get on this, it wasn't the subway, it was the commuter train. So there's a whole other level of energy, on that train. And people become more family-like. It's familiar. When the train broke down, you might get a ride for some personal. They'll be like, come on, I'll give you a ride. It was camaraderie, while people were still in their space and doing their thing and they didn't really know you and you never knew their name. There was a sense of camaraderie, familiarity. You're catching this train, you know what I'm saying? And I can help you out, kind of thing. I don't need to know you. I don't need to see you. I don't need to call you. This is just good Samaritan stuff. And I'll never forget, I was getting to know people then, this is how some of this stuff started. And I probably was in a state of a little bit of hyper PTSD at that moment because I was going through a lot in my workplace at the time. It was constant, constant stress and constant this, and it was just a lot. So when I'm in that hyperspace, I tend to communicate more and talk a little bit too much. I think I'm just kind of dealing with that energy. But anyway, I was kind of like in that space, but I'm very jovial, right? Which gets people to question, like, is she okay? Like, yes, I'm okay. But anyway, this young woman, she was taller than me. She was a little lighter than me. And we were all just kind of talking, getting to know each other, right? Because that's what you do. And you're catching a train like that and meeting people. And so the familiarity was there, but it wasn't like a friendship developing or anything like that. But I remember seeing her one day on a platform, and whatever we were talking about, I must have mentioned, and I knew during that time too, I had lost a lot of weight. So I was looking right about 16, even though I was like almost 40 at the time. But I said something to her, and I must have mentioned something about age or whatever. And it was honestly, it was a very innocent conversation. And whatever I was telling her, and if I even mentioned age, it was because I was telling a story. Maybe I had just turned, that particular age, whatever it was, right? It was very innocent, like extremely innocent. And then out of the blue, she was like, "Oh, Dora, you're older than me. And I thought I had you or something." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So basically, what she was saying to me was like the whole time she even got near to me or was talking to me is because she was competing with me. And she thought, I got her as a better dressed, as a better this, better that. And only to realize I was years older than her. So she let herself down. She let herself down. And I'll never forget that there was a little white guy that used to catch train with us too. He was a midget. And I remember I had this suit on one day, but I was starting to pick some weight back up. So my stomach was bulging out a little bit, but the women were making comments, I guess, about my suit. And all I remember him saying was, "I like it." This this little short midget guy. No lie, he was a midget. I guess you're not supposed to say midget anymore. And he was like Cat Williams height, whatever. And he was like, "I like it." And shut them the hell up. If you are if you are secure even in your criticism of someone and then you shut up because some random guy comes along and says, "I don't care what you say, I like it," and you shut up, you are not secure in yourself. You need to put people down to feel validated. Let me give you a little hint. How about you validate yourself? How about you take some time and meditation every day, 5 minutes, and start working on yourself? Because I'm going to tell you all of this energy that has been going on for probably centuries at this point with melanated women. I'm not even talking about the white women because there's that and other stuff that comes with that. I'm just saying intraculturally. And let's drill down even more. I'm not even talking about the whole of the diaspora because there's all of that too. I'm like just drilling down with foundational Black American women. How about we do that shadow work? How about we do that? Because that energy, and don't tell me it doesn't exist, because do you know how many times per month I hear a male talking about you women just don't get along? Y'all don't know how to get along. Y'all can't get along. There is no getting along. So there's no gaslighting here. We're going to put it out there. If you can't stand to be in a room with a bunch of other very beautiful women and learn to appreciate their beauty and not just do it for the sake of knocking them down a peg or making them look a certain kind of way. Most times y'all smuggle up the women because you're like, let me see them nails up close. Let me see if there's a hair out of place. Oh, there's a little run. Do people even wear stockings anymore? There's a little run stocking. Oh, she got this. That's sick. You're sick. It's an agent. It's an agent spirit. And we're not even talking about generally someone coming out with some tights on and maybe they didn't realize they would really see through and they could, you could see all their underwear. We ain't even talking about it, stuff like that. Not even, not even, not even. We're not even going there. We can't even go there because just a general walking down the street, someone coming into a room in a space, and you're immediately threatened. Your demons are flying all around all the time. give you no peace. Okay, now I'm getting to my preaching mode. I need to pull back. I need to pull back. I know Sagittarius need to pull back a little bit. But your demons are flying around. And my demons came out as PTSD. Just fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and everything else in between. But yeah, do the work. Because people honestly, men honestly, are looking to us to stand on our square. They're looking to us for guidance. They're looking to us for light. They're looking to us for leadership, for wisdom, for care, for love, for maturity, patience, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm not saying do it for them. I'm just saying it's there. That's what people are waiting for from us. Men are waiting for from us. And I know in my own house, I'm like, I don't want to get into space of the males in my household. Like, do you? But they're looking to me for guidance. And not because they're weak. It's because this energy is weird. Look at my video from Saturday. I didn't even know what to do. I was like, what the hell is this? I was perplexed. I didn't even know how to title the video. And I even got a message from my app that I look at daily. Like I said, these are just messages I see and I just take it with a grain of salt. But even one of those messages said, excuse me, people around you are looking to you for guidance. Oh my God. I was like, please don't tell me it's 1 o'clock. It's not, it's 10 o'clock. This message last week said that the people around you are looking to you for guidance, for leadership. They're looking to you for leadership. That was a clue. And again, I just took it with a grain of salt. And what has happened since then? Ever since then, men have come into my space, sharing with me, needing my guidance, missing my guidance, needing a shoulder, even to cry on. I don't take these things lightly. So men are coming to me for guidance, grown men, accomplished men. Then why is it that the women are so threatened by me? There's not a woman that I don't meet. It's rare. It's rare. It is freaking rare that I meet a woman that I don't respect. It is rare. I can't even recall the last woman that I came across like that. Except for the couple of Gemini women. Sorry. I just, it's a no with me. But it's not all. It's not all. But it is rare. And I actually have to be in their space for a minute, even to recognize who they are. Because I see what people bring to the table. Now I can see what someone brings to the table, and I feed them as I would feed anyone else. I feed them not physically, but I feed them as I fed the men that came to me over the weekend, looking to me for guidance and leadership and wisdom and comfort, and not sexual comfort, compassion, more like for compassion. I lost my train of thought. I had a message for the females. I don't know what I was going to say, but I probably was just doubling down on what I already said. But I do remember saying it is rare for me to come across a female that I don't respect because I see value in almost everybody I come across, even just from the jump. I give people that space. Maybe that's something you could do. Give people some space to be human. And I have to come into your world and, act like a cult. Nobody wants to be around a cult-ish energy. Well, some people do. Some people need it. I don't. But I remember I was going to say too, like I've fed women, I've given to them, I've cared, I've showed compassion, and in return, no reciprocity, no thank, like literally not even a thank you. Like, you can't be out here whining and complaining because it becomes whining and complaining when you're not getting something, but you're not giving anything either. Reciprocity. It's a simple concept. It's a simple concept. So, yeah, I know this is a tough video, and I know that, the females are going to come at me with a vengeance because you do that anyway. Even with politeness and kindness and a smile, you do it anyway. Not all of you. Let me put this disclaimer out there. This is not all Black women across the board. This is not. So let me apologize for saying it that way. It's not a paintbrush. It's not. But it happens enough. It does happen enough. It happens frequently. It's actually a known fact. Women can't get along. That's a known fact. Now, I'm not saying that we don't come across people and it might trigger some jealousy or something like that. I'm not saying that. This is a toxic problem. This is a toxic problem. So unless we can stand being in a room with other women of all shapes, sizes, and colors from all walks of life and still stand in our grace and in our love and in our power, you know, we're going to have a problem. Our community is going to continue to have this problem. And you're using your energy to fight against the men when really a lot of you just really need to go within and deal with the inferiority complex. And not that it was yours from the beginning. I don't know. But more than likely, it was developed over time, particularly living in this society. And some of you, some of you just come off hard, like just hard, like, like, ooh. You're very feminine, but you're butch at the same time. So I don't know. What does that mean? What is that supposed to do? Yes, that is part of the energy. But people are not going to submit to you. No more than people's going to submit to a narcissist. And females are narcissists too. So it's the shadow work. whether you have to build the confidence or tone down the energy or, the aggressiveness or, you know, whatever. It's the extremes. It's the extreme ends of the pole and everything in between. Right? You got the extreme ends of the poles and everyone in between. So you can range at any point within this pole. That's all of us. If we just put all of us, paintbrush, all of us in there, we're all are gauging at different points of this pole. From the two far extremes. You have to decide, where are you in this pole? I'm not really here to tell you what to do. I'm not. What I am here for is, like, you're not going to tell me what to do. You're not going to tell me what handle I could use. You're not going to tell me I don't belong in some space. You're not going to run me out of another space, this space, or any other space. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm having the conversation. I'm pretty sure all of y'all have handles. Good for you. But I don't need to be the height of the height of the height of the oracles. I don't need to be the oracle, the oracle, the oracle, the oracle. I don't need to be the triple oracle. I don't need to be, you know, the God sent oracle. I don't need to be, the chosen of the divine of the great whoever oracle. I'm OracleDeborah. No more, no less. And I like it. So that's why this conversation is taking place. And for those of you who can appreciate me, appreciate what I'm saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I never meant to get on this channel but you know what? Or let me finish my thought. Never meant to get on this channel and have this conversation, but it's a conversation that's just been itching to be had. Because why? We are in the Pluto and Aquarius era. And what have I always said about Aquarius? Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac signs. Aquarius is not going to tolerate that Piscean energy. See, in the Piscean energy, people withheld information. There was a lot of contention, which is ironic with Pisces being such a watery sign. A water sign, probably the waterest of the water signs. And all of these energies bubbled up through that era. And it was delusional. And there were illusions and disillusions. All of that is Neptunian. Neptune rules Pisces. Was there inspiration? Yes. Was there compassion? Yes. Was there spirituality? Yes. But it was all smothered in delusional energy. A lot of it, not all of it. So no, I am not paintbrushing all of you. I am not. But I'm not backing down as to who I am and why I'm here. Okay, I'm just going to sit in my space and chug away at these videos. I know I need to be working on my class right now. I want to be working on my class right now. I really want to be working on my class right now. But like I told you, I come from the mother of mothers. I come from the oracle of all oracles, if we're going to keep it a buck. My mother was like, no other is like no other. And I know for a fact that when I decided to come here, I was like, if I'm going to come here, I'm coming here with you because that made sense to me. And I was absolutely content being under her tutelage all day, every day. Just nothing but wisdom oozing out of her pores. So no, you can't. No one can come to me and say, I'm the oracle of the oracles. I am the triple scientist of the spiritual community, and you can't. None of that impresses me. None of it. This phrase, this word, this name is not meant to impress you. It is to describe my gifts. That's it. And I'm not trying to explain anything to anybody, prove anything to anybody, or, because you're going to do what you're going to do. You're going to ignore me or whatever. You're going to call me, whatever. You're going to do all of that. Okay, I get that. I get it. I get it. But I'm not backing down. I'm not going anywhere. And neither should you. The whole point, the other point of this video is like, when are you going to stand on your square? When are you going to get comfortable in your skin? For those, not all, for those who are constantly trying to knock other women off their pegs, dismiss them, or sabotage other women to make you feel better about yourself. Like, come on, we know what that is. You're better than that. But it doesn't matter what I say. It matters what you say to you. See, my journey continues. It is ongoing. Some days I have great days, and some days they're not so great. But that name ain't going nowhere. Because I have learned to love myself so unconditionally. And I grew up in a household as an infant in a sea of this energy. It is exhausting. It's old. It's tiring. It's sickening. It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary. To the 10th degree unnecessary. It's hatred. So I'm just telling the community, here I am. I do love all of you. I love what you do. I appreciate, your journeys, you know. I appreciate people's journeys, period. I have Venus in Aquarius. So I am a humanitarian. That placement right there makes me, the humanitarian, as if I were an Aquarius sun. And it's not a fun placement, you know. There is detachment that comes with it. Aquarius has to be detached. It has to be. So, I don't want to um, couch this all of this message, trying to say something loving to backpedal. I'm not backpedaling. My message is my message. All right. And of course, I will listen back to it and I will timestamp what I need to timestamp and whatever additional messages I get from there, then that's what I'll do. But I can't tell you not to be threatened by the name Oracle. I can't. I went to Starbucks and the guy clowned me because, are you the Oracle? Are you the company Oracle? Like, who do you think you are? So you'll be all right. You will be all right. Yeah. So, all right. In the second video, because this was my third take, I wanted to share with you this Oracle deck. I don't know if you know how this background is. It's Lemuria Beyond Oracle cards by Izzy Ivy. It's a beautiful deck. And when I bought it, I thought I was getting something else, but I kept it. That was fine. And I started using it, but not a whole lot. And I might pull a card for myself. And, a lot of it I sort of kind of resonated with, but really didn't. And then for my birthday, I decided to take all my Oracle decks and pull a new card and see where my energy was. And this one was the first time I pulled a card where it really, really resonated because I knew I was in this energy. And the card came out for me, number 40, which 4 is like my builder's card. And it says radical expansion. I don't think I could do this without hiding a portion of my face. Uh, sort of, kind of. I think it likes this side better. But better yet, it likes this angle much better. Radical expansion. You're not going to be able to really appreciate. See, there it is. Radical expansion. But it's weird having half my face covered. And it's like a dragon, as you can see, but it's like a unicorn almost type dragon with the colors, and it's like underwater. It's amazing. And I'll go ahead and read it because I did read it in the last video before I deleted it. It's number 40. Like I said, 4 is a builder's number. Um, I'm thinking Taurus energy, with the number 4. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, so I'm giving you the synopsis. There's a whole long, um, maybe I'll read it. I don't know. Let's see. So let me just give you the abstract. It says living and loving at full capacity, being unapologetically you, self-expression, boldness, having a voice, taking up space, expansion, empowerment, owning your true power, being visible in the world, having fun with your magnificence, letting go of judgment, creative exploration, radical ways of being. And let me just say this, since it says very clearly, letting go of judgment, that if I came off judgy in any shape, form, or fashion, um, my apologies to you. That was not the intention. But I know as Sagittarius energy can come off judgy. So that was not my intention. I just felt it was time to just do the message and get it out my system, because it was very important for me. It is very important for me that people know that I'm just being my unapologetic self. That's it. And I'm not asking for anybody's permission. I'm not asking for your permission. Um, but at some point, somebody's got to listen to the issues that are plaguing Black women within the Black community. And I'm not even talking about the diaspora. You guys deal with your own stuff. That's not my business. It really isn't. It's not my business. But foundational Black Americans, yes. Yeah, I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a say. And I know that men are, and it's not really about them. I'm just saying this in general. I know that most of us, people come to us and need us and pull on our resources and all this stuff. And who do we have to go to that we can trust and cry on that person's shoulder or any shoulder that we can go to? A lot of us have no shoulder to cry on because our shoulders are so broad. So I'm not apologizing. I'm not, trying to convince you of anything. I just felt it was a time and a need for me to say, listen, I'm not competing with you, but I'm not going to shrink either. I'm not going to be knocked down pegs so someone else can feel comfortable in their skin. That's the message. In fact, let me write that down. What's there? I got my issues. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, I got my issues, but they're my issues, and I love them. I have learned to integrate with my shadow. I love my issues. I just do. They're finally shoveling up there. All right, so I'm going to read this, and because it's my goal to come out and read because that's one of my greatest gifts too. It's like me reading my voice or whatever. So I'm going to start over with the narrative, and then I'm going to continue on with the rest. And sorry for the shoveling, but it needs to be done. Radical expansion, number 40. And feel free to, if this resonates with you, please feel free, take it. Living and loving at full capacity, being unapologetically you, self-expression, boldness, having a voice, taking up space, expansion, empowerment, owning your true power, being visible in the world, having fun with your magnificence, letting go of judgment, creative exploration, radical ways of being. What would it be like? Let me get my glasses. I saw them yesterday. Are they over there? They're here. Ah, golly. Let me see. Nope. And I just saw them. Okay. We're gonna have to do without them because I literally have no idea where they are now. All right, here we go. What would it be like to live? What would it be like to live, love, and feel at full capacity? Do you imagine what it would be like? This card is about being truly and unapologetically you. I will hold the card up, but you let us know. The gifts you think are too bold for this world and those heartfelt experiences you believe you should hold back on might just light someone up. The physical self-expression that you dull down so you fit in, and those dreams that seem too vast could be precisely what the world is waiting for. Do you feel you have the right to take up space? Our auras can expand manifold, but we often choose to keep them tight to our bodies, maybe for safety. But what is this construct in which we have imprisoned ourselves? Where does this subtle or not so subtle shame come from? Why not dance our most beautiful dance, dressed in a way that makes us feel magnificent, and sing so our voices are heard? Considering the paradigm of our judgment in others can help us expand into authentic expression. We may not be aware of the thoughts that were imprinted in us from a young age through our parents, teachers, society, and the media. Separation and limitation begin with our beliefs around what is acceptable and what is not. Connection and possibility come through owning your power and embracing your responsibility to be more visible in the world, to not shy away from life. It is time for radical ways of being and thinking, and you can start by granting yourself the freedom and creativity to be you. Having a voice is essential for power to shift back to individuals and communities outside of prescribed normality. It is time to unleash. It is time to unleash your inner rainbow dragon. That's what that is. And unapologetically claim your heart-based empowerment and radiantly unconventional gifts, and to have fun with it. And here's the divinatory meaning. It is time for expansion. You can be as big as your energy wants to be. Stop and consider anything that is holding you back. This card is the permission slip that allows you to let go of limiting stories and take up all the space you need. Have fun unleashing who you are. As bold and radical as some of your ideas or offerings might be, who is to say they are not what the world is waiting for, what the world wants? Take note of any judgment of authentic expression towards yourself or others. Be mindful that creatively exploring unrefined expression may be what is needed right now. Remember to center yourself in your heart and be the masterpiece your soul always wanted you to be. Whew. What an amazing message. Radical expansion, not radical judgment, not radical jealousy. See, this is bringing up Clarissa again, right? With the sister thing, the radical jealousy. No. And maybe that, me coming across that story and led up to me doing a video about her, which has led up to me making the video and saying the things I said in this video. You know why? Because we're done. Whether you're a sister, a biological sister by blood, or a sister by spirit, you all know this. And I am paintbrushing this statement. You all know this is an issue. We all know as a community, this has been an issue. This is a problem. And it cannot continue to fester and poison our water. our primordial water, our air, our drinking water. It can no longer fester and poison and create, and the cancer continue to just spread. And someone said to me when I was diagnosed with cancer and I was considering not getting the surgery, I was considering not doing it because I'm asking all these different people, and then people who I wasn't asking were giving their opinions. And this guy said to me, do you know what a person looks like when cancer spreads throughout their body and they start to deteriorate as a result of cancer? Have you ever seen that? Do you know what that looks like? I had not. But the way he described it to me, the way he spoke to me, made me sit up and listen. And now that I think about it, he was never part of my testimony or story regarding, the cancer and being 38 and how did I get diagnosed with colon cancer at that age when you don't even get a colonoscopy until you're 55. That miracle story my ex-doctor still talks about. He still uses. He thinks it was about him though. About him. He was used, but it wasn't about him, for sure. But we shared that for 20 years, this doctor and I. But when this guy spoke to me that way and talked to me that way, and he gave me, all the energy, like, can you visualize? Because I saw it. He said, I saw it, what a person looks like when they deteriorate from a cancer. And that's what this thing is. This jealousy, this envy, this competition, this disgusting cancer that has infiltrated and has just deteriorated within our community, which has brought us to a place where men are like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna let y'all stay over there. Because we are festered with this cancer called competition, jealousy, envy, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Whatever you want to call it. It's dysfunctional, all of that. And these are judgy words, I know. But we cannot deny the cancer that has poisoned our primordial waters, no matter where it stems from. Don't think I don't know that. Don't think I didn't give grace over that. I did. But I also know that even with my own situation, I had to pull up my big girl panties and take extreme ownership of everything. You know how hard that was? And I had a good excuse. I was like, I was an infant. How was I supposed to handle that energy? The universe doesn't care. The universe did not care. I had to do the work. I had to dig down in all that gook and pull it out bit by bit until I got to the root. And there's no telling what other roots are sitting up in there. But my journey continues. What's her name? Larissa Shields. That story, I told you. Oh man. Hold on, babies. Hold on. I'm in my flow. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry. Um, for me to have come across her story, this woman never came across my social media feeds, never knew anything about her. She was around same time that she was blossoming, same time as Simone Biles. And Simone Biles was all over my feed. So I just learned of Clarissa Shields' story. I just did a video. I wasn't cloud chasing because her story resonated so closely to mine. The jealous sister to the point she was in tears. Kwame Brown's like, she had me crying. This, that was a precursor to this video. And I know I'm going to get whatever, but I'm not going to justify it. Why? I'm not going to delete the video either. So, it's a great video. It's a great video. I'm thinking about the energy, the negative energy, because I remember I clapped back a couple of months ago when someone says, why do older Black women act this way? And I clapped back and I was like, it's not all of us. They said hit dog hollers and they just came at me. But you know what? I got almost 1,000 likes from my comment. You know why? Because it wasn't all of us. And that woman wasn't even a part of the foundational Black American community. So, yeah, delineation is important. It's very important. And I want us to win. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to mince words about it. I want us winning in every aspect of life. And I want us to be who, oh, shoot. I'm starting to remind myself of that person. Let me stop. If it is our place and if it is our role to be pillars in this community, to be guiding lights, to be leaders for everybody, men, women, children, whatever, then that's what I want for us. And that is what is happening. So again, the Clarissa Shields thing has led up to this video today, and it was just meant for me to have, and it just is what it is. So um, I can only love a person but so much. But yes, I do. I feel very, I don't know. I just read you this beautiful message from the Beyond Lemuria deck. Um, Radical expansion. Radical expansion is radical healing. Oh, if I could get this card too. Radical healing. Radical expansion. I'm gonna have to hide my face. Radical expansion is radical healing. Radical expansion is radical acceptance. Radical expansion is getting out of radical denial. Radical expansion is, radical awareness. We were already aware though. All right, let me just, okay, it's not, doesn't want to show up anymore. Radical expansion is radical awareness. And who the hell am I, right? Who the hell am I to tell anybody what they should do or do not? Nobody listens to me. No one ever did. But what is radical? See, you start getting into etymology of words. Does it mean what we think it means? Where did it come from? I'm just going to do that real quick. This is running out of batteries. The word radical comes from the Latin word radix, or ADIX, which means root. The word radical has multiple meanings and uses, including fundamental, extreme, and then political. Those are the subheadings. In its earliest uses, radical described the roots of plants, both literally and figuratively. Since roots are at the bottom of a plant, radical came to mean something that is fundamental or essential. Fundamental or essential. Radical expansion. Essential expansion. If you're not moving, you're not growing, you're stagnant. You know, the Kyballion or, you know, Thoth, Tahuti, I think they're all one and the same. You know, they talk about vibration and how everything is always, I think it's vibration. I might have to jump up and get my book because it's been a minute since I read it now. I may have to go get it. Maybe not. Let me see. Maybe I can do a quick search. Oh, there we go. See, I don't have to jump and get it. The principle of correspondence, the principle of mentalism, that's the first one, the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibrations. I was on it. The principle of polarity, there's 7, principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect, the principle of gender. So what I was talking about is vibration. Things are always moving. We're always moving. I know we face stagnancy. Things are still, but they're not still. It's just that they may be moving in another direction, right? They may not be moving in the direction of expansion, but in the direction of deterioration. So we're coming out of that cancerous, deteriorating energy era and moving towards the energy, um, the vibration of expansion. Now I know, you know, sometimes people that Jupiter gets up in there and they say, yeah, I'm radical, you know, just temper your Jupiter. Just temper it, you know, balance it out. Because you have to have balance in everything. This is part of the Kyballion, right? The principle of the Kyballion. The polarity, the opposite. I've been talking about these extremes, the polarity of the energies going on. Remember cause and effect. Correspondence, as above, so below, but as below, so above. People forget that part of it. It's not just as above, so below. We communicate, we affect, you know, that which is above as well. So as above, so below. So as below, so above. It goes both ways. It is 11 o'clock now, though. And the principle of rhythm and cause and effect. You know, so I can't get it, you know, it's just dawned to me. I'm going to read the Kyballion to you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, Source. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to balance this message out. When I come back, I'm going to start reading the Kyballion. As I'm going to balance this message out. Because it wasn't me just venting. This wasn't a vent. This is a very specific message for balance, for healing, for awareness, for accountability, for extreme accountability. And I'm in it. I'm a part of it. Okay. But I don't want you guys to run willy-nilly with this message. Radical expansion. I don't want you to do that. I'm gonna need to balance this with the Kyballion, with the principles of the Kyballion. So I'm definitely going to get the book and come back when I'm ready to do a video again and start reading the Kyballion. So I've already written it down. My sisters, I love you, but I know for the majority of y'all don't care that I love you or not. My aura is just an issue when I step in a room. And I'm not going to convince you that it's innocent. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just radical. But I've learned to step in my radical ways, my essential ways, my essence, that which is fundamental to me. When I look into my chart in sidereal, and they tell me that I am ruled by Mula, and I looked up Mula. Mula is roots that are tied together. So that radical resonates with my essence. Anything that has to do with roots resonates with my essence, because I know in sidereal astrology, some call it the side real, the real side of astrology, that Mula Nakshatra, I can't really pronounce it because I'm thinking about it. That Mula Nakshatra, I can't say it now. I've been saying it for a year or 2 years, and now I can't say it, but probably because I'm on camera. But that Mula is about roots that are bound. So, yeah, radical resonates with me. And this is why we have to go to the etymology of the words, because all we think of is political, diabolical extremism in the worst way. Let me see if I can find it again. Let me read you the other thing. So, also radical, the subheading extreme. Radical can describe something that is extremely different from the usual or traditional. For example, you might describe someone's views as radical if they are very different from the root up. See, there we go with that root again. Then on the political side, they also have a math one too. Political says in politics, radical can describe someone who wants to make extreme changes to the government or society. We know what that is, right? So that's who we only resonate with, that definition, that energy, right? When we hear radical. So when you go to math, it's the radical sign, which is this sign, indicates a root of a number. So the root sign, everything about this word is root, 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 root. And every portion of this is root. 60% of our language comes from Latin and from that's why our language is so confusing. And we almost end up casting spells on ourselves with this language we call English. The radical means root. It comes from radix, R-A-D-I-X. Something that is fundamental or essential. Our leadership, sisters, Black women, foundational Black American women, our leadership is essential in this society. Now, however that looks to you, that's your business too. I'm not trying to get all up in everybody's business. And many of us have really grounded ourselves and rooted ourselves in our essence and our true essence. Many of us have, and more of us are doing that. But this thing that came out, where the universe used Clarissa Shields' story and has forced us to stand up and sit up and pay attention, that is that thing I'm talking about. It's that energy. that I'm talking about. That has to go. That's been exposed. We're getting back to our roots. Ooh, stop. We're getting back to our roots. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know how I'm going to. I don't know how I'm going to title this, but it's going to be juicy. It's going to be juicy. I have to go. I felt like I've wasted time. I know I did not. I know I did. I'm sorry. Just the discourse is pulling at me from every angle. It's just enough. But I am grateful. I am at 73%. So, you know, I'm almost there. So very proud of myself. I really am. And I'm pushing it because I'm so close. I want to push it. I continue to be methodical because it's taken me this long because as I'm going through the course, I'm studying, which means I'll have less study to do on the back end. So that's my strategy. All right. Be kind. Don't be too mad at me. Sorry, not sorry. I'm writing it down. Sorry, not sorry. But if you go by Oracle, I love you. If you go by some whatever name, I love you, but I am not shrinking. So, yeah. I'm about radical root expression or expansion. See, the expression is there too. Root expansion, radical expansion, roots, getting back to our roots, our true roots, our real roots, our divine roots, the big mama roots. There's no mama like big mama. All right, love you. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Continue to smile. There's nothing wrong with smiling. Smiling is beautiful and it takes less muscles to smile. So continue to smile. If nothing else, inward. So smile your beautiful smile. And may your smile, may our smile shine as bright as the stars that we are. Oh, love that. All right. Peace, peace, peace.